And joining us live via phone is a security expert, Ona Ehomu. Good to have you join us, Ona Ehomu. Now, let's look at the reaction of the different arms of government to the state of security in the country. On the one hand, we heard from a lawmaker in the House of Representatives yesterday that he has information that those at the forefront of fighting this insecurity are sharing ammunitions. But the presidency did say that they have given everything that is necessary to the military to fight this, to fight insecurity in the north. Talk to us about what you think is the true nature of things.
Thank you very much for having me on your program. Well, I think the proof of the pudding is in the eating. From what we see right now, the attacks by insurgents in the northeast are persistent, and they are just implacable. The insurgents. The other day we had, even after the Zabarmari killings, we had an attack in Damboa that took about 8 lives, and so on and so forth. So it's kind of a daily occurrence. So I think that just sets the tone. That gives a picture of what is going on, which means it's not going well in our favor. And we really need it to go well in our favor. So if they say the factors are that we don't have adequate arms and ammunition for the troops, we don't have adequate intelligence, the agro rangers are not escorting the farmers to the farm, then some of these things ought to be fixed, because the continuous provision of excuses for the deaths, mass deaths in this case, like Zabarmari, is totally unacceptable. And there ought to be an upping of our game to ensure that lives are protected more competently.
So when it comes to the issue of weapons, we're getting reports that government efforts to acquire weapons to combat these terrorists are being thwarted by some world leaders. That's some of the reports we're getting, and it's coming from government officials. How do we move from a place where we're finding it difficult to acquire weapons to a place where we can actually lobby and get these weapons?
Well, I'm not sure that I am very familiar with that difficulty with getting weapons that has been alleged in certain quarters. Nigeria has been having problem with Leahy Act in the USA because of some issues related to there were accusations of abuses during the Jonathan administration. And there was a lot of effort to counter that narrative at that time, and which I am very well aware of. Now, having said that, we had a situation where, with the new administration in the United States, that's the Mr. Trump administration, there was a rapprochement with the Nigerian government, which is what facilitated the sale of the Tucano aircraft to Nigeria, which, when it's delivered, will definitely impact the tactical situation on ground. Now, having said that, what we have right now are allegations that are relating to the Jonathan-era actions, which the Americans actually took to frustrate our buying of weapons. But I'm not aware right now that there is still a weapons embargo, because the U.S. government, I know, has said that Nigeria is now on its good book. So I don't know. I mean, there's been no recent outcry against human rights violations or anything like that. So because it follows that Leahy Act says that you cannot sell weapons to people who are using those weapons to victimize or to abuse the rights of their people. So that's what Leahy Act says, and I'm very familiar with that piece of legislation.
All right, so we do have a 2019 national security document, but a lot of people have said, even the president did ask for an update to that document, but a lot of people have said if we need to move forward in terms of how we fight security, maybe we should change our security architecture. Some say weapons, some say training, some say intelligence. What do you think is the one thing that we can do now to put these terrorists at the receiving end?
Well, I think we need to kind of look at the architecture again. I'm sorry we keep going back to that same word, security architecture, and it simply means security arrangement, because the battlefield architecture has to be reconceptualized. Let me tell you what I mean by this. And for example, we have a situation right now where we are working a super camp model where the military has retreated into some super camps which are impregnable to insurgent attacks. So what does that mean? That means we have only a few military locations, military bases that are secured, but the outlying area, the whole state is conceded to the bad guys, as it were. So this is why you can see this Zabarmari attack. This is 20 kilometers for goodness sake, out of Maiduguri. This is like from Ikeja to Victoria Island in Lagos, if you are looking at the distance that this attack took place. Yet, there was no response, nothing. I mean, so it's a shame, really, to continue to persist on an architecture that is very faulty. Because if you say to me, say one thing that can be changed, that will change the structure of this combat, it is the architecture that is very faulty. So what does that mean? We know we have issues, and whoever is in authority that needs to address those issues should now go and address the resourcing issues that are forcing us to adopt a defensive posture rather than an offensive posture in relation to the insurgents. So that's why I was happy when Mr. President said the other day that the troops should go after Boko Haram rather than hide away from Boko Haram.
All right. This is an ongoing situation, and we'll continue to monitor it and see how things play out in the coming days. Security expert Ona Ehomu, thanks for talking to us.